Welcome to episode 84 of TerrorVision horror podcast, The Spoilercast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan McGuinness, and join me on the Midnight Meat Train. Our Midnight Meat Train is my co-host, Jennifer the Dream Warrior Strand. Toot toot! Yes, every fortnight, Jennifer and I set ourselves a movie to watch, and then we go through it scene by scene and spoil the fuck out of it for you and your dog. It's a deep dive into glorious gore, hard edits, cheesy acting, directing madness, severed wangs, and compound fractures. Together we are two people with a love of horror, and we feel the burn of our obsolete Blockbuster memberships. Mm-hmm. And we're back not doing remote.
Yay!
We're back in the studio.
Yeah!
The fucking horror studio.
I love it. I love it.
The studio. We have a rating system. So, you know, you're not left with your severed dick in your hand.
It's true.
Flopping it around the room, getting blood on and cum on everyone.
Swinging it around.
Because, you know, you keep cum in your shaft of your dick, not in your balls these days.
I don't know how dicks work.
Or maybe...
At all.
Maybe as the dick was getting cut off, you're ejaculating.
Oh, that's dark. I love that.
Happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
More times than you think.
Happened to a friend of mine.
It did.
Yeah.
Happened to a friend of mine's dog's roommate's former child babysitter.
Child's lover.
Child's babysitter.
Okay. All right. Well, for everybody playing at home, our rating system is a little something like this. We've got A, awesome, everybody should watch. B is our beer and chicken wing group movie. F is fun and dumb. C is a classic that's worth a watch. U is underrated. O, an overrated motherfucker. G is good for its time, but is not held up. We've got the J, Jen special, a D grade movie only I would love. We've got the D, Dan special, a movie with lots of practical effects and dismemberment and dicks.
Come drinking dicks.
That's right, flinging dicks. We've got W, whatever. Pfft. We've got the Kesha, low budget hot mess, C-, craft is stellar, but I hate the content. And of course, our favourite, the McConaughey. The fucking fucked. We watched it. You don't have to.
It's such a McConaughey.
Such a McConaughey.
It's funny how everyone wants McConaughey's in this show. Like our fans and shit.
It's because they love it when you get all like
flustered.
Yeah.
Anyhow, today this week around we watched, on my choice, we watched Scanners from 1981, and it's fucking wicked.
It is wicked. It is written and directed by the Lord and Savior David Cronenberg. It stars Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside. Who the fuck has the last name of Ironside?
Michael Ironside.
Ironside. Remember him in Starship Troopers?
Yes.
It was wicked.
And then he was in Turbo Kid.
He's in everything. And as soon as he comes on any movie he's in, I just look at him and go, Michael Ironside!
That's exactly right. It also stars Jennifer O'Neill, Stephen Lack. Now, I had a little dig around to find some budgetary information. So as far as I can make out, budget was $3.5 million US, and the box office return was $14.2 million.
That's mass.
So I'm going to say that's a successful film.
Yeah. Well, it's a Cronenberg, but don't get us wrong. Cronenberg makes the best films, but he also makes the worst films, and they're the same film.
That is the best way to describe a David Cronenberg.
Yeah, It got stellar craft, but then there'll just be one bit you're like, what?
Yeah.
Why you do that?
Yeah. Why? So, 10 seconds, the pain begins. 15 seconds, you can't breathe. 20 seconds, you explode.
After it's not really what it's about, eh?
It's not. No, they've based it around that one thing. So after a man with extraordinary and frighteningly destructive telepathic abilities is nabbed by agents from a mysterious rogue corporation, he discovers he is far from the only possessor of such strange powers, and that some of the other scanners have their minds set on world domination while others are trying to stop them.
Dun dun. It's pretty much the story of Akira.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Okay, so this film, it opens with brutal green caps letters, like very serious strings orchestra.
Did you get a Shining vibe from this?
Yeah,
The soundtrack? That was a fog.
Yeah. But yeah, very serious. Like, it's just like, you know, it just comes on and you've got, these big green caps of titles like, Yeah.
Shit's real.
That's what's happening here. I like a big bang hit in of it starting. So I was just like, yeah.
This gonna be good.
And we're open to a dishevelled guy in a trench coat and a beanie, and he's walking through a food court of a very 80s mall.
Oh, it's so 80s.
This movie is 80s, and I
Yes,
love
well,
it. And it's just like, and it's like all the decisions that the characters make are 1980s mind. Like, there's no like, oh, why don't I just got, there's no mobiles. There's no actual sense of how business corporation structure works in this movie. It's how a guy who does horror thinks a corporation works.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's walking around the food court. He's like,
he's picking at plates.
Yeah, picking up old bits of food, eating them.
Sits down. He kind of finishes off a hot dog, lights a cigarette, and then
That's how he just lights a cigarette in a food court.
It's the 80s.
I know. I can never get used to that shit.
It's the 80s.
You go to Japan and they still do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can. Or in restaurants, you're sitting there next to someone having a cigarette.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
and that's as an ex-smoker. I don't know. Anyway, he's being judged by some Karens.
They are
Classic Karens.
Yeah, classic Karens.
Classic Karens. They're just like, oh, look at that disheveled guy. I don't know why he's sitting there doing that. Why didn't he just get a job that bum? Blah, 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 blah. He locks eyes with one of the Karens, and they just kind of start staring each other down a little bit, but his staring becomes more intensified.
And then we get a high-pitched noise coming like a...
Yeah.
like,
when you're watching that through headphones, it kind of burrows into your brain.
there's lots of amazing shots in this film of just people thinking.
Yeah.
And using their mind, of how an actor would think you have to use your mind.
Which is so
what your
funny.
face would look like. Yeah.
Because that's not how we think.
No, you just be like...
I get accused of being angry a lot more than I actually am, because when I'm thinking or when I'm doing stuff, I have a concentration face, which means I'm constantly frowning. I have frown lines. That's just me. But no, I'm just thinking.
All right. Anyhow, he starts to and we get the impression that he's like, he's got some telepathic abilities, and he's like,
She starts to have a seizure, and frothing at the mouth. She's on the ground. Her friend is poorly dubbed, being like, please help my friend. Somebody help my friend. And people start rushing over.
Anyhow, there's also two other guys that are watching this occurrence, and they also are wearing trench coats, because there was a sale on trench coats in the props department.
Yes.
And they decide they're going to start chasing food court hobo guy.
Yeah, so they're like, that guy did that with his mind. Let's get him.
Yeah, straight away you're like, what? Why would these two men in trench coats think that dude did that?
Yeah.
There was nothing. No one can hear any noise. He just would have been looking at it, and then she has a seizure. Anyhow, they chase him through the mall. It's like a Benny Hill skit.
It really is.
He's going up and down escalators.
He does this really cool parkour bit where he jumps from one escalator to another and is hanging on but being raised.
Yeah, but it's like a beanbag doing parkour. It just kind of flops onto the thing. Yeah, but yeah. Anyhow, they shoot him with a tranquilizer dart in his hand, which I was like, ow.
That would hurt.
There's a lot of needles in hands in this movie for no reason.
All hands. I don't know why.
They chase him through the mall. He's still tranked. He chases him through the mall, and eventually he passes out on the escalator. I like that because he just comes up the escalator and hits the top. Thunk, thunk.
They just sort of pick him up
and drag him out.
So he wakes up strapped to a hospital bed.
But also, before that, the music in that scene was crazy. Did you get that intense, crazy soundscape?
Oh, yeah.
What am I trying to say? Experimental kind of industrial synth?
Yeah, it's very
I'm going to try and put it over us right now.
Chaotic, his mind is.
Yeah, but I was like, this is classic Cronenberg music.
Yes.
Maybe he's like a carpenter where he just sits there and makes the music himself.
Oh, he'll never be a carpenter in that manner.
It's true.
Never.
Anyhow,
So he wakes up strapped to a hospital bed in an extraordinarily large room surrounded by empty chairs.
It's like an attic of a factory, like a shutdown, and doesn't look very professional.
It really doesn't. No, and
he's dressed in white duds.
Yeah, of course. Well, he's in a hospital.
Yeah,
of some kind. A doctor comes through. He kind of looks like Kelsey Grammer a little bit in season 1 of Frasier. And he comes through and tells him that he's a bum. He's like, you are a bum, but you're a bum because you're a scanner.
And he has a really strange way of speaking. It's very slow and like, you are a scanner.
Yeah.
I am an actor. It's like a theater actor.
Acting.
It's like Count Dooku. Like,
All of the acting in this film is phenomenal.
it's all theater acting.
Yes, it really is. But he's sort of explaining that it could be a great source of power.
And we've already introduced to the character's name. The bum is now named Cameron Vale.
Yes.
Cameron.
So people start filing in the room, filling the seats, and there is a lot of chatter starting to fill this room.
Yeah, it's just randos to start coming in.
Yeah.
And there's like seats all set up like a bloody
Like a
town
theatre.
meeting.
Yeah. But he hates it. He starts kind of...
no one's moving their lips though. You can just hear.
It's all he can hear. And he starts like writhing around in the bed. It's causing him a lot of pain. You know, the voices all start to blur and it becomes like this gargled massive noise, which if anyone's ever had anxiety attack, that
is that what it's like?
Can be what it's like, yes.
And then I wrote in my notes, I think they're all like scanners blocking his powers. I thought at this stage, like, are they there just to like stop him from going crazy? Like they're the safety net?
Yeah, that's cool.
Doesn't matter though, because they never actually explain why they're there.
No, because the doctor, he comes back
There's a
out.
lot of mystery.
There is a lot of mystery and
Like,
intrigue.
what happened there, Cronenberg? Mystery. Magic.
So the doctor comes back over and he gives Cameron a little shot to help him relax and shut the voices out.
Every injection in this film is like a horse tranquilizer fucking injection.
Through the hand.
Into the hand.
Through the hand for some reason. I don't know why.
And the voices, you know, like after he gives him the shot, the voices stop and he goes, now. We can talk now. We can talk now.
We can talk now.
Oh,
Shatner.
And yeah, we cut to a different shot of a different building. Who knows where this building is? Doesn't matter.
No. There is a gentleman, the glasses, big 80s glasses. I need to get me a pair of them. He's sitting there and he is discussing scanners. You know, if you are being scanned by someone, I'm going to scan the audience.
He's like at a TED Talk he's doing to people.
It's like an early TED Talk. And he's going to
talking
scan
about scanners.
someone in the room. However, be aware that if you are scanned, it causes nosebleeds, earaches, stomach cramps. It's painful to be scanned. And then he calls for volunteers.
Yeah, I was like, you guys, it's very painful. You could bleed. You could do this. So, can I have a volunteer?
Yeah, you're going to bleed from your rectum and your eyes will pop out. Any volunteers?
And of course, no one puts their hand up because why would you?
No.
And then, but except for Michael Ironside, volunteers.
He's in the audience.
Whose name is Daryl Revick.
Nope. I've just called him Ironside the whole way through.
Yeah, his name's Ironside.
Yep, in capitals.
So a very young Ironside as well. He's just like in the audience. I'll have a go.
Yeah,
So
I'll do it.
Ironside,
Okay.
they have a little table set up, like a card table.
Mm-hmm.
They sit, next to each other, facing the audience, and the man.
He's like, now think of something specific. Have a think.
Yeah,
Just think.
Yeah, he was like, think of something specific that only you would know. And
Yep.
I assume that in this, like, he was going to say, were you thinking of this? I read your mind as an example. Anyhow, doesn't work out like that because they start linking. We hear the high-pitched noise and then they start making the faces.
Uh-huh.
They're all taking shits at
It's like, I'm not sure if he's taking a shit or having an orgasm from taking a shit.
So just imagine they both got their eyes closed and like, whoo, ah, ooh. Well, those faces, those sound effects, what they'd make. And I was like, wow, acting.
Acting at its finest. And the guy with the glasses, he starts to kind of twitch. Ironside at this point looks like he is balls deep in this guy's brain.
Yeah, so he's taken over. So he must be a scanner.
Oh, the plot, it thickens.
Anyhow, it keeps on going. It gets getting more intense and intense and intense. The sounds are getting bigger and bigger. The shots are getting closer and closer when all of a sudden, what happens, Jen?
Bam! His head explodes.
Yeah, the not Ironside.
Not Ironside. No, the guy with the glasses.
And this may be one of the most famous head exploding scenes ever.
Of all time, yes.
Yeah, because it looks so
amazing.
I think it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, which made it so horribly brutal. Like the fact that it blows out from the back and his face flops forward.
Yeah.
Like
well,
his whole...
I've got to find the making of, because I'm pretty certain they had like a shotgun or something under so that it was meant to come out the top rather than the back. I will find the video because I remember.
A shotgun. They didn't use explode. They just used a gun.
I think so.
Well, they did
like
only use shotguns in this film.
Yes.
About, like, every bad guy had just
There
had a
was
shotgun.
also a sale on shotguns where they were getting their trench coats.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and there's only 12 minutes in. There is a epic head exploding
So the
practical
most
effect.
famous scene of
Scanners.
is in the first 12 minutes of this film.
Yep, 12 minutes in. But you know what's really weird? No one else's head explodes after this. I'm like, they have so many opportunities to use this power. This power is really... there's no rules to a scanner's power. So,
Yep.
And then I'm like, it's like every scene they just wanted to do a different power where you just wouldn't. You'd just go like, just going to use the base power. Head explode, head explode, head explode, head explode.
That's what would I want to learn anything new after I've learned the power of head explode? No.
And maybe only Michael Ironside can do the head exploding, I'm thinking.
Maybe.
Anyhow, he gets arrested because, the police just automatically think that he did it.
Yes.
Oh, look, that guy used mind powers that we couldn't see or hear to blow that guy's head up from across the room. Arrest him. He gets held down.
He's drugged.
Yeah, he's drugged.
He kind of wakes up in a car.
They give him an injection which seems to stop his,
His scanning.
No. It doesn't happen like that, does it? He gets taken out the back and held down by hired goons. Mm-hmm. And then a scientist comes out of nowhere with an injection and goes to inject Ironside. But he looks at the scientist and scans him a little bit. And then the scientist is mind controlled. And instead of injecting it into Michael Ironside's hand, the scientist injects it into his own hand.
Correct.
So now they have Michael Ironside thinking he is sedated from scanning, but he actually still has his scanning powers.
Craziness.
Whoever this organization is, this shadow complex.
Yeah, these hired goons. The cop or whoever has apprehended Ironside
there's
has
no
him...
explanation.
No, we have no idea. He's in the back of a car that is being driven by one other guy, and then trailing behind are two other guys in another car.
Yeah, so they're cruising along and they're taking Ironside somewhere. Anyhow, Ironside looks at the other car. He uses his mind powers, which he still has, and he just basically makes the guy crash his car.
Yeah, the guy speeds past and just barrels into a wall and the car explodes.
Yeah, because it's an American car. It really just explodes, eh? Like it hits a wall and then explodes.
Yeah.
But he could have used his scanner powers to make a car explode. Who knows? He
scans one of the other guards that apprehended him and...
In the same car.
And they stop the car. They get out to try and help the others. They're like, the cop's like, no, we got to get this guy out of here. Get back in the car. And of course, unfortunately, he then opens fire and he kills the two other hired goons.
Yeah, so basically Michael Ironside scanners a guy, makes the other cop kill the other cops.
Yeah, and then kill himself. Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, this is kind of cool and interesting. And the thing, very good. We cut to a meeting at a big shady fucking military company that are called Consec. One word. C-O-N.
Sounds like Enron.
Big C, little O, little N, big S. It's like Existence.
Yeah.
That movie. It's like Consec. Anyhow, Consec, whatever the fuck that place is.
So it's like a big boardroom meeting, and there's the doctor is in there, and they're like talking about scanners as telepathic curiosities, but the result of this is 6 corpses and a complete loss of credibility. And there is
one naysayer.
Yes.
There's a naysayer guy on the board.
There's always a naysayer.
And I've just referred to him as naysayer or evil. I don't know who he was.
So technically his name is Braden, and he has just been brought in as the new head of security because I am under the assumption that the guy that shot some people and then himself was the head of security.
Ah. And he doesn't believe in the scanner program.
No. So he wants to drop the scanner program.
And they're trying to weaponize scanners, basically. So it's weird because the main characters in this film are the goodies are trying to weaponize scanners, and they're trying to get scanners back from another place that's trying to weaponize them. So there's no real good guys in this movie.
No. But, the doctor's explaining, he's like, well, you have this crazy security, but somehow you let an assassin infiltrate this
Yeah, he basically
facility, like-
dropped mics on this guy. He's just
Yeah.
like, he goes, "These scanners, they can't do anything." And he goes, "Well, they did exactly what you want them to do." He came in, he infiltrated, he took a target out,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, there's a lot of... So they've established that there are 236 scanners that they are aware of in either America or the world at the moment. I don't know. But none of them
I've joined the
are
program.
working in the program.
And that there is maybe an underground scanner program.
There's always an underground
Another,
scanner
a
program.
shadier one. A shadier program run by Michael Ironside.
No.
Orange shot. Anyhow, so the doctors are like, the guy's like, the naysayer's like, we got nothing anyway. What are we going to do? He goes, actually,
Yeah.
we might have one person left, which is Cameron he's talking about.
Yeah.
And they're like, why don't we send him to kill Ironside? And I'm like, okay, not the best plan.
Yeah,
Like-
this. Okay, so I'm not sure about you, but this to me seems a little bit like Star Wars, where, you know, Luke Skywalker is a nothing kind of guy, and now all of a sudden he's an almighty Jedi.
Yeah, that is true. Like,
Yeah.
you know, these guys go through years of training, except this guy's just got it in one go. But he's a phenomenal, like, you know, person.
He's an
And
exception.
the bad guys basically want to get Cameron to go in and infiltrate the underground scanner thing. Not just kill Ironside, he has to infiltrate first, which they don't really make clear at first.
No.
So that's the plot of the movie. So Cameron has to go in and infiltrate the underground scanners.
Yeah. So the doctor sits down and he has a conversation with Cameron. He basically reiterates that this is what we want you to do. Like, we have this ephemeral. It is a scanner preventative. It stops all the voices in your head.
Yeah, ephemeral is the injection.
we don't know-
You need to know about that. There's so much ephemeral. I just called
Yeah.
it femoral at start because I missed the A when they were saying it.
Same. But so he starts to play a video for Cam, and it is January 4th, 1967, Ironside, age 22, and it's basically like a hospital recording.
Yeah, because Ironside used to be in their group and he split off to do his own group. So, and Ironside, this is a great one. He's in the footage, he's drilled a hole in his own head because there was too much pressure in there.
Yep, there's all the voices. You need just to let it out.
Which is a typical crazy kind of
Yeah.
like, I think that's actually happened to people. They
Yeah.
drill their heads and shit because there's too much pressure they feel. He's got like a little bandage on his head and he's also drawn a third eye on that because he's like, you know, and I thought this scene was pretty cute.
Yeah, it's cool, yeah. It's like a young Ironside.
It's just to
looking-
show that he's kind of mad. He's gone
Yeah.
crazy.
Like,
And
there's
he's very
too much.
powerful and crazy.
So the doctor explains that, you know, without this ephemeral, he is going to become exactly like Ironside. You know, he is your enemy, like, you know, and he knows you. Like, he has sought your kind out one by one. He's asked them to join him, and if you don't, you are eliminated.
And an Ironside's underground scanner corporation is to destroy society and make a world of only scanners. And it's a world with 200 people in it.
Yeah, 36 people, yeah.
I'm like, cool.
But he's like,
cool.
together, you and I can stop him. So, sure.
Anyhow, we cut to the naysayer.
Oh,
Consec man. He's at a train station. He meets with someone. We don't see who it is.
it's
hideously...
a mystery man.
It's hideously obvious from the start that it's Michael Ironside.
Yes, of course.
And we can see that the naysayer is actually a double agent for Ironside. Mm-hmm. And so the whole point of him and Ironside wants the naysayer to shut down the scanner program. So he's the only scanner program. So the underground scanner program is funded by the same company. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just have the same company? Or if you're that, just get Ironside, just fire the doctor and get Ironside to run it. If it's that. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Like,
Because it's the same company.
yes. Yes, it is.
Anyway, he's a spy. There's like shit going down. And then we cut to the doctor and Cameron at scanner headquarters, I called it.
Which is also like the basement where the attic of this building
Yeah.
is. And he sits down with a guy they explain to be some kind of psychic genius. So he can make his heart beat faster, slower. He can raise and lower his blood pressure.
He is a scanner yoga master, they described him as. So he's
Sure.
a yoga master who is also a scanner.
But if he's using them... So if the company is using him,
But I thought they had no
technically have a scanner on their team.
I know.
Right?
They just said they had no scanners, and in the next scene they have a scanner on their team.
Yes. So, yeah, they're like, we need you to...
This is what this film has. It's a great idea and great thing. But there are so many scenes like, you just contradicted yourself.
Well, I just like to sit and watch a film and not ask questions. I just go with the flow. This one I was finding myself like, but why?
Yeah. What? Yeah,
But
okay.
why?
But you just said you had no one on your team and now you have someone. Now you have
got
two people.
the crypt keeper on your team.
Yeah. Anyway, the old guy, he's just like, okay, what he's going to do is he's going to make his heart slow down, and you're going to scan link into him, Cameron, and you're going to make his heart, you're going to try and make his heart beat faster. And don't worry, he's a yoga master, so when he feels his heart's going too fast, he'll stop and break the scanner link.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is going to go down well.
Yeah, this sounds like it's for a guy who's
Is it also
first day on the scanning job.
Worst like training montage.
So
Anyway.
there's a lot of like staring and like squinting and like...
Anyway, of course, Cameron's powers are too powerful for the yoga master. He can't stop Cameron from making his heart go full on. And then,
Cameron just stops.
yeah, he's like, so the doctor is about to get the ephemeral out and hit Cameron up, like shut him down. And then he just stops and goes like, you're right. I am awesome.
But the way he said it as well, he's
Okay.
like, you're right. That was easy.
Yeah.
As if he's like, oh, now he's just going to go and explode some heads as well.
And then he's like, okay, Cameron, you're clearly ready to go out on the field.
You've passed scanner training.
We're going to send you, there is an art, this is really confused. So they go, we're going to send you into the field to find this artist who we think is a scanner.
He is a scanner. He was in a prison for the criminally insane because he tried to kill his whole family at age 10. But he has been rehabilitated through art.
But he's also, he has turned down Ironside's organization as well. So they're like, this is a scanner. I'm not quite sure what they wanted to do with him, whether they wanted to capture him or they wanted to get them to join him. Bit confusing.
Yeah.
And this is a great scene. So you're like, okay, I get that. And it cuts to the art exhibition. There's an art exhibition. There's all these crazy arts, which I could honestly say I think is actually, that was a real art exhibition with real arts.
I figured it was just Cronenberg's art pieces.
Oh, just Cronenberg.
That's what he does at home on the weekends.
They're all very disturbingly Hellraiser-ish kind of art pieces.
Yeah, they were really
stuff.
cool though. There was that one where he's like in the bed and he's got all of these like strings attached.
Like electrodes coming out of his head.
Which head to all these like creatures.
And you can tell all the artworks
is relative
to scanning and stuff like that. Anyhow, this is a funny scene, I thought. Cameron is there. Mm-hmm. He's dressed very nicely. And he's looking at an art piece. And then the curator comes up to Cameron and says, oh, I'm so glad you could make it. I'm like, why? Cameron was a bum 3 days ago.
It's like, I bet you say this to all the patrons.
Yeah, like, why would a curator single out Cameron and go, I'm very happy you came?
For the plot.
For the plot.
To drive the film along.
It's just like, I saw you as a bum 2 days ago, and I'm so glad you've come
You've really turned yourself around in the last 48 hours.
It was weird as if Cameron was really like a secret agent now that everyone knows. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense. What he should have come up and said is like, oh, you're enjoying the artwork. Can I tell you about it? You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. A bit confusing. Doesn't matter. Anyhow, Cameron wants to go. He goes, I want to meet the artist guy. He goes, nah, he's kind of reclusive. And so Cameron tries to scan him.
Yeah.
Scan the guy to get some info out of him. Anyhow, the guy, the curator's like, going that. But then we see someone in the background.
Oh, yes. We see a lovely, lovely looking lady, which is very interesting because it opens up for a brief look at the lady love interest, which never kind of evolves.
It never comes to fruition.
But he kind of leaves and she's left there staring at him with smirky eyes.
No, she scans him.
Does she scan him?
Yeah. So basically, Cameron gets what he needs out of
the doctor, the curator.
The curator, the art curator. But then, like, she looks at him and starts scanning him. And he's like, he can feel it. And he's like, oh, ow, someone's scanning me. So he can... But I'm like, why didn't you look around the room and see who's making faces at you?
That's right. See, I didn't pick up on that. I just assumed that he had a bit of a headache from scanning the curator. And then she was just looking at him with fuck eyes.
She was scanning him. And I just thought of straight away, like, Street Fighter, like, a new challenger has arrived. Like, who's going to come up on the screen.
Ready? Fight.
Yeah. And but he doesn't even look around the room to go like, oh, because it's so obvious when someone's scanning you. They're making faces
because they're standing there like their arms are like...
They're like on a massage chair. Like, so...
we cut to Cameron.
And then she slips away before he can see her.
It's done. So we cut to Cameron drives out to the middle of nowhere. It's like this forest retreat compound thing.
Wooden secluded house.
Yeah.
Like a little cabin.
Yeah. And Cameron, obviously, he lets himself into this cabin.
Which is where the artist lives.
Uninvited. Just wanders on in because he's a scanner and he can do that. And he starts calling out for Benjamin, who is the artist.
They meet. He sees him.
Yep. They have a bit of a chat.
The artist is crazy.
He laughs like a clown.
He's like a eccentric artist. He's gone mad. He's like, how do you fucking like control the scanning? He goes, through my art. Yeah. And I'm like, because he doesn't have ephemeral. And anyhow, he doesn't trust anyone, the artist, because he's crazy.
Yeah.
And for good reason, actually, now I think about it.
Yeah, well, no, it's fair. So as Cameron starts asking him about Ironside, and he's kind of like, oh, who sent you? But while this is happening, we have some people...
Goons.
Hired goons. Infiltrating... Well, casually...
They rock up out the front.
Strolling with their shotguns.
There's shotguns. They've all got shotguns. I think there's 3 of them. Is that right? Or 4?
There's like 3 or 4, yeah.
3 or 4. Maybe 2 ladies, 2 guys, or something like that. I can't remember. Anyhow, they just start shooting. They start shooting at the house.
Yeah.
Shotguns, everyone knows shotgun can go through houses.
It's true. I also like that this is very, obviously it's the shotgun shots are amazing on the people's bodies, but it also reminded me very much of Point Break. Like,
which bit?
With all the shooting.
Oh, yeah.
How it's just so gratuitously like holes and blood splatters and stuff.
But also, like, there's this, the whole room is exploding.
Yes.
Like, the shotguns are just making sparks and fireworks come out of everything. It's like a John Woo film all of a sudden. Anyhow, the artist and fucking Cameron have taken refuge in a gigantic head,
yes,
which is a sculpture you can sit in, which has, like, you go sit in on a couch with the brain, which I thought was really cool.
That's cool.
It's just kind of a shooting scene.
Yep. So, unfortunately, Benjamin gets shot to shit. He does a couple of little scans, gets himself out, tries to make a break for it, gets shot to shit some more. And then, Cameron comes out and he starts scanning. He starts making his scans, and I'm not convinced.
Well, Cameron scans the goons, and so he, like, scan tosses them across the room.
So rather than making some heads explode,
he, like, throws people around. And that just kills them.
Yeah.
Because, their organs have been shook to death. Okay, so he's the artist is now dead? He's on death's door.
He's on death's door, and he has one last telepathic communication with Cameron before he dies. And it's all very gargled, so I didn't actually really hear what he was saying.
He tells her that that the lady's name is Kim Orbrist, who scanned him, and where she lives.
Oh.
So that, at least that's what I think he said. Yeah, there are some scanning when they talk to each other telepathically. It's like got a massive like reverb on it and make it sound like it's underwater or something.
Yeah,
weird like that. But it's very hard. I rewound it a couple of times and he just said like he just told him where to go next in the plot.
Yeah, that's fair because I can't hear very well generally. So I was just like, I'm sure it will make sense.
I'm sure it will.
It'll be fine.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't. It's Cronenberg.
Yeah,
Cameron goes back to his hotel room, shoots up some ephemeral, goes to sleep.
Yeah, he wakes up like a bunch of hours later, and he takes a casual midnight stroll through the streets.
It's like the ephemeral just like was heroin. Like he just wakes up in his clothes on the bed. I'm like, it just makes you just stop having your powers. It doesn't zonk you out.
Well, he was probably really tired after his drive to the country.
It is true. It's exhausting.
It's all
driving.
that fresh air.
Exhausting driving.
Yeah.
He's probably burnt his arm as well from hanging out the window.
Oh, yeah. And it's also the 80s, so he couldn't listen to some cool podcasts. He'd just be like listening to an 8-track.
It's also the 80s. They don't believe in sunscreen.
Oh, no, they don't.
Anyhow, Cameron goes to Kim's house. He's greeted by a scanner who does a scannular pat down on him. At least a bit. He meets Kim and
he basically Jedis. He like comes in and starts leading this group of scanners.
Yeah, well, she's like a scanner helper.
Yeah.
So these are like the resistance scanners against the shady organization scanners, which are.
This is just Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah. They have a scanner seance together. Like they kind of all link minds.
Yeah, which he starts this. He's like, everybody link minds. We're all connected.
So why does he do that?
Like, you
She should
were
have started
nothing a couple of... no, it's fine. It
They're
doesn't
like,
matter.
we're so
Doesn't
glad
matter.
you're here.
Yes, because outside,
Goons.
hired
goons.
and Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside.
Ironside.
Anyhow, they're having their link up hippie session, right? And it's saying stuff like, "We are all one, we are all linked. Our minds together can do anything, motherfucker." Blah blah blah. Anyhow, I was so happy the goons came in and shot them all. Goons burst in, shoot a couple, like ruin the seance.
Yeah.
Is it seance? Is that what it's called? No, like what are those things called when people?
It's like a meditation or something.
Meditation. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, meditation session.
Well, it could have been a seance. The goons did come.
The goons come in, they blast a couple of people. The shotguns look great, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Blood splurts out of everyone every time they get hit by a shotgun. The goons shotgun 3 of the scanner people. And then, Kim gets up, she goes, "Motherfuckers!" And she scans them and fucking they burst into flames.
Burst into flames.
She throws them across the room and they burst. So it seems that everyone has a unique scanner power. Yeah. Except for Cameron. Who just has all scanner powers.
Is the almighty Jedi.
Yeah, so she sets them on fire. They die, some of them.
So everybody that is left alive, they all bail out and they pile into the
Scooby van.
The Scooby van.
What is it? The mystery
machine.
The mystery machine. And they burn off down the road. But don't worry, the evil people also have a Scooby van. And they also chase them.
I'd just like to take a moment to appreciate that we know Ironside is evil because he was standing outside in a black turtleneck and a brown leather jacket
and a very thin chain, turtleneck and chain.
He was not sipping on a light beer though.
Oh, he could have been. You don't know.
No, I don't know that.
So they're driving along going, "Fuck, that was shit." And then the evil van rocks up next to them and they're like, "Uh-oh."
It's like an armored vehicle from Mad Max as well. They like flip some shit up and all the shotguns come out.
Yeah, the shotguns come out of shotgun holes in the van. Like, yeah, very Mad Max. And they blast a couple more people in the car.
Yep.
And then they crash into a record store.
I know.
Which is so weird. Like,
all them records.
Like, it's a full record store. Like, it's all lit up in the middle of the night so we can see what's going on. Because you don't turn your lights off. And, they smash in there. Fucking records going everywhere. The car flips onto its side. And then Cameron and Kim, they just bail out. They're like, "Fuck, that was shit."
Yep. So they're the only survivors. They bail. They make a break for it down. They don't even leave the store. They go into the basement.
They go deeper kind of into the shop's back rooms or whatever. Yeah. And a crowd comes in. They're like, "Fuck, a van went through the record store."
Oh,
and we can see there that one of the people, the onlookers, it has a trench coat.
He does. We know he's bad.
He's a bad guy. He's another evil scanner. So he gets hot on the tail of Cam and Kim.
Yeah.
Cam and Kim.
Yeah.
Great
big hunk of spunk.
Look at me. Look at
me. They do. They do look at them.
They are. That's what Kath and Kim were. They were scanners.
They were. Fuck. So, this guy, he kind of casually just sort of walks off in their direction. He ignores that the bus is now caught on fire and that the sprinklers are on. He's just in casual pursuit. It's not hot. It's just casual. He reaches into his trench coat. He pulls out his shotgun.
That he's got a shotgun, of course.
And
he builds it. It's in pieces.
And
he's stoked.
It's like in Jurassic Park where Muldoon is hunting the raptors and he pulls out and he like sets up his gun.
But he gets real stoked with it. He's like, the actor's like, "I did it."
He's like, he was obviously having real trouble with it all week.
Anyhow, he goes to shoot fucking Kath and Kim. And of course, Cameron links with him and scanners him to make him give him a clue of where Michael Ironside is. He does. He does it in that weird scanner voice.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Anyhow. The guy reaches in and he pulls out a vial from his pocket and it's got a little logo on it that we have not seen yet in this film, but it is a logo for a biocarbon amalgamation.
Yeah, it does make sense. Basically, it looks like there's a drug.
Amalgamate.
There is an ephemeral drug, a black market version on thing by another company. That's what we kind of like get the vibe.
So rather than being able to just Google the image to find the company, they've been in the Yellow Pages, they've been driving around.
Now, what I reckon they did is they Cameron, they didn't took that back to the doctor. This is a scene that wasn't in the film, I assume. And he's like, I see. I know this logo. It's of this certain company. Because the next cut scene is basically Cameron undercover in a fucking hazmat suit in this company already.
True. That kind of happened because later on the doctor's like, I was unaware.
Oh, yeah, he does too, yeah. Damn it. Anyhow, somehow Cameron has worked out where this thing is. He has already infiltrated the place. He's already dressed in a hazmat suit. He's like done the first half of the level of Hitman already. He is somehow like, and he is in this laboratory. It's a lab. It's a, people are wearing hazmat suits there. I don't know why. It's a pharmaceutical company.
Yes.
You don't wear hazmat suits.
Not just to get a sandwich downstairs at the cafe.
Well, you don't work with fucking, I don't know this. I don't think you work with radioactive fucking like inanimate carbon rods.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Because like the people who work in hospitals work with radiation and they don't wear that shit. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. It's an 80s scientific lab. It has blue, greenish lighting.
That's how we establish that it's science hazmat suits. Not lab coats.
Anyhow, Cameron goes up to a fucking computer, boots in.
Well, he notices that Ironside's upstairs.
Oh, Michael Ironside is in this laboratory.
He's upstairs. He's signing some papers, which looks pretty suspicious to me. What's he doing there? And then, yes, Cameron he goes upstairs. He starts snooping around a little bit, and then he finds a computer because he is a bum. He is a bum who has had no education, but he knows how to use a computer.
Maybe he was just like in the 1980s coding craze, and that he ran out of work, and that's why he was a bum. But he's really good at getting into computers.
Maybe.
Or maybe he's just a scanner, and now he knows. Oh, like I know kung fu. They've like downloaded kung fu.
Yeah, I really like the next scene because it's basically the doctor sitting in a country club.
No, but first, like Cameron gets on the computer and he finds out that this organization is funded by CONSEC.
Yep.
So the money is coming, like it's run by, so we are like, CONSEC is helping Ironside, which we already know.
We do.
But anyhow, they find out.
Yeah, so the doctor is just sitting in the country club. He's like just in a chair by the fire while all these other
having a brandy.
Well-to-do men are reading their newspapers and whatnot.
He's fully slouching.
And he's like slouched, kind of like nodding off because that's his like 18th brandy for the morning.
Yeah. It's just like,
he receives a phone call from Cameron because Cameron knew he was there. And he's like, I have some information for you. I need to provide it to you. And he's like, call me back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because he clearly needed to go take a shit.
Yeah, he's
from
like,
all of the brandy.
Call me back in about 10 minutes. Because they went on this like kind of endeavor, as you said, on their own steam, and anyhow, they arrive. So they come down to the CONSEC. We get a shot of the CONSEC building. It's massive.
Yes,
it's like
but first, head of security.
What?
We get the scene with the head of security guy, the evil guy. He goes and sits down. He's back at the train station. He's there to meet his mystery man, which turns out to be Ironside. And he's like, and we have an informant. Like this is happening. I'm letting you know. And he's like, I need him. Bring him to me. But if anything happens, kill them all.
No, basically, like Cameron has told the doctor that he has an informant from Michael Ironside's organization, which is Kim. But she's not that. This is how they're going to get back into CONSEC for some reason. And then, so the naysayer evil CONSEC guy says to Ironside, an informant has come over from your side. He goes, that's impossible. There's no one has left or anything. You know what I mean? Like, so they're lying. So just fucking kill them. Yeah. Because Michael Ironside is now calling the shots.
Of course.
So
he's Michael Ironside.
He's like, says to the naysayer evil CONSEC guy, you fucking interrogate the informant, and kill her, and then kill the doctor if anyone fucks up, and so that's the weird plan at this time. Anyhow,
makes sense.
Cameron and fucking Kim, they arrive at CONSEC in a helicopter.
Sure.
They come down, they're surrounded by a circle of people. This place is pretty unescapable.
They all have shotguns.
I don't know why they didn't walk there, like because they were there earlier.
Yes, just drive.
But, they get escorted straight in.
Yes.
into this giant organization, which is very hard to get out of, apparently.
Yes. We also get this brief scene between the Doctor and the head of security, and they kind of have a bit of a dick measuring contest, where he's like, I'm taking the head of security. He's going to be taking control of the interrogation of the informant. There is nothing that you can do about it. Fuck you, old man. And the Doctor is left kind of butthurt about the whole thing.
Yeah, and also the Doctor, what is it? Kim and Cameron are given a dose of ephemeral to make, they're like, we just need to give you a dose of ephemeral just for our safety.
Just in case.
And then, but then the Doctor goes into, he goes to interrogate Cameron, and he's like, just to make sure that you trust me, I gave you guys fake ephemeral, so you guys still have your powers. Okay, cool.
That's great. It was just
he's very much on the
solution.
scanner's side.
Yes.
Cool.
So
So who do you work for, Doctor?
I think he just works for himself.
Yeah, he's a rogue.
He doesn't know what's happening. He's been sitting in his chair too long. So we cut to Kim being interrogated.
By evil concept man.
Yeah. And also we cut back to like the Doctor talking that he founded the biocarbon factory. Like he founded that and he sold it off to ComSec. And
yeah, but he doesn't know
like,
what they do. He goes,
yeah, he's like, I'm pretty certain they make like chemical weaponry,
Yeah, really
I don't
bad?
know. And Cam's like, I saw it with my own eyes. They make ephemeral and Ironside's making it.
Oh shit! Because he used to own. He started that offshoot company and sold it to them, and he's like, I haven't thought of that in years.
Yeah,
and he has no idea that his own company he created is now fucking himself over.
So he explains that there is a computer program that controls everything, which leads the Doctor to believe that someone in this business, in this establishment, is a traitor.
Yep, there's a traitor at Concept.
So he... This is the most believable thing in any science film. He's like, you need to get in there, Cameron. You need to scan the computer.
He says a great line. A computer is what is it? A computer is just a nervous system.
Yes.
And you can scan into nervous system. Like, is a computer a nervous system? I mean, I think I want to say is like a computer is basically just a simple brain.
Yeah.
It works with the same kind of he could have said electronic pulses and on-offs and, X's and O's. But no, they said like nervous system.
It has a nervous system just like people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so now Cameron can fucking modem log into fucking computers from a telephone. He's basically like, he hasn't done it yet.
No, that's fine. So the head of security, he busts in on Kim. She's sitting in the middle of a very shitty room, and he immediately
turns off the cameras.
He kind of hits on her as well. The first thing he does is just like,
you're very pretty.
Hey, baby.
He goes, you're very attractive, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't fly these days.
No, and he starts asking questions. She's like, unless you can provide me protection, I'm really not going to talk to you. He then turns off the cameras and he starts threatening her. She gets up and tries to leave. Then he backhands her like he's from a 1950s movie.
Hi-ya.
He's like, Baba, shut up, bitch. And then he somehow reveals that she isn't a scanner.
Well, no. He just gets cocky and just reveals that he's on Michael Ironside's side.
Yes.
And then he goes to shoot her, right? Because he doesn't think she's got her scanner power. But then Kim scanners the gun out of his hand and pushes him across the room and bails. And I'm like, you should have really just killed him.
Yeah, pretty much.
So now Kim's just run out of the room, which was just a door.
Yeah.
It
was like the janitor's closet. They didn't actually have an interrogation room, so they just cleared out the janitor's closet.
And then the Doctor has cuts back to Cameron and the Doctor has some sort of inner monologue about his past.
Yeah, which is what?
It just shows the Doctor's face and it has a voiceover. I can't remember what it was about.
Is he a scanner? Is he scanning himself?
No, he has this weird thing where he's he comes to revelation of what he has to do.
Yeah.
I think Cameron bails at some point, but he's just there going the answer is in the past. The answer is in the past. The past is the answer. And I'm and then he sits down because Cameron's bailed.
Yeah, he
and
wants to go
he's
help
pondering
Kim.
on this one concept over and over again. And he's so deep in thought that the fucking evil fucking guy comes in, evil concept man, and just shoots him in the back of the head. I'm like, what?
Sure.
Okay, cool. He's dead because he got paradoxed. Like, he told a
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Yeah.
So Kim...
Except we don't talk about that anymore.
We don't. No, we really don't. So Kim finds Cameron and she tells him that the head of security has just tried to kill her. And as they're having this conversation, 2 guards descend on them with guns and they both sort of turn...
They both scan them
and walk out.
Make them turn into blubbering messes from their childhood, think past childhood experiences or some shit.
Yes, which reminded me because, okay, I've just started watching Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And there was that scene where they're like, Summer is stuck in the spaceship and the spaceship is being told to protect Summer.
Yep.
And all these people are descending upon her and she's instructed that it cannot be violent. So she the ship shoots out this little thing with this security guard's dead baby. And he's like, Daddy, don't shoot the lady.
Oh.
And it's like... Oh, that's dark.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what this reminded me of.
It is very dark. Old Rick and Morty. Anyhow, cut to after Cameron and Kim have just run out of Consec.
Yes, they leave the building which you cannot get in or out of.
You can only get in via helicopter.
Yes.
They've just run out the front door and just run to a payphone.
Yep, they drive up to a gas station just a couple of miles down the road.
They've got a car now.
Yes, yep.
Because they didn't have a car before because they came by helicopter. So it doesn't matter. Don't ask questions.
Just don't.
And then Cameron's like, I got to fucking hack in via the telephone because I can do that because the doctor said I could.
I've got to do it before they reprogram it.
Before they reprogram it?
Yeah, so they're going to reprogram the computer.
And he wants to break into the evil concept's computer to break into the RIPE program.
Yes.
Which is all I can see it was just a list of the scanners.
Yes.
Or some shit. Who knows? Anyhow, he finds a payphone and he basically puts his ear to it and basically logs in like a 1980s modem, like into the computer. And we get all these radical shots of like computer boards,
motherboards and little pieces.
So with capacitors, like super duper, like macro filmed of it, panning across it because that's showing that he's going into the computer. And I love that shit. So he's turned into a giant modem.
Yep. So the head of security, he is in the room with a bunch of computer nerds and he basically finds out that he is locked out of the computer.
Yeah.
Someone is inside the program right now and they could be doing it from anywhere because our computer system is hooked into the telephone system.
Yeah, and then the evil concept guy somehow guesses what Cameron is doing. He goes, hang on. Computers. Scanners. He's breaking in with his scanner mind. I'm like, how did you come to that conclusion? And he's like, fucking shut down the whole system. Delete everything. He goes, but sir, that'll delete all of our fucking shit. He goes, I don't care, because he's about to get busted. He's basically covering his own tail.
Of course, you would.
Anyhow, he shuts down. They shut down the computers, and he goes to back off, and the scientist is like, we're just shutting the computers down. Nothing's going to happen. And then he's just like, we've never shut a scanner down before. And everything explodes.
Yeah, so Cameron on the other end of the phone, he's starting to struggle. There's some explosions in the lab.
There's some awesome visualizations of getting shut off.
Yeah, because everything kind of just nothing happens. He's like, see, told you.
And then all the computers back at Consec explode. Everything explodes. The car explodes next to Cameron. The petrol station explodes. The phone melts.
Melts in his hand.
The phone, which is cool. That's one of those 80s kind of it reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street kind of effects.
Yes.
Where the phone melts in his hand. Fucking everything explodes.
And then he runs out of the phone booth grabs Kim and jumps as the phone booth explodes.
And a telephone pole explodes, and everything just explodes. But in all of this, the explosion also kills the evil concept guy. And I'm like, that's it?
He gets exploded.
He gets exploded.
Like, I think he's the first to be exploded.
Yeah.
And he's just standing in the middle of the room, surrounded by nothing, and there's just like, poof.
Yeah, and none of the scientists get hurt. Anyhow, he's dead. And I'm like, that's it? That's his character gone?
Dead.
Like, he basically killed himself.
Pretty much.
He could have just left the room.
He could have.
Anyhow.
Yep.
Cam and Kim drive to the doctor's place. This is a new doctor's place. This isn't the doctor.
Like I'm like, oh, they're at the doctor's house. Why would you have a sign out the front saying that you're a doctor? It's a doctor.
It's a doctor's. It's a doctor who is on the payroll of the evil concept organization and the RIPE program. And this is where they find out that the RIPE program is a scheme where the bad guys are injecting unborn babies, like fetuses, with ephemeral, which gives them scanner powers. So they are breeding an army of scanners.
Yes.
But wouldn't it make them not be scanners? Because they've shown earlier on that it says that, like, they say ephemeral doesn't affect a normal person.
Well, they explain that in a minute.
Yeah, but like, but why would it make the babies into...
Yes, because also we forget to mention, because like we burnt through that scene real quick, which that was succinct, that was perfect. But Kim finds this information out at the same time Cam finds out, because she gets scanned by a fetus.
Yeah, so she's in the waiting room with the lady in there pregnant, and the baby, the unborn baby, scans her. Not in a bad way.
No.
Just like she just knows it's being scanned, but she can tell it's like, maybe she's better at sense. Anyhow, she gets scanned by a baby.
They decide that they need to bail out. They got to go right now, but unfortunately, some shots get fired. Kim gets shot in the back with a tranquilizer. Cameron kind of tries to bail her outside as quickly as possible, but unfortunately, they are met by Ironside, who also tranks Cameron.
So they're both caught. Anyhow, Cameron wakes up in Ironside's office. Wakes up on the couch.
Yep. Ironside hands him a drink, and they chat.
Yeah, this is great. I enjoyed this scene. Like,
yeah.
Ironside is all like, "Fucking how you going, mate?"
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, buddy."
And it was like really, and I'm like, he doesn't seem crazy and evil anymore. He just sounds like a normal dude. Ironside tells a story. He drops the bomb. He basically vomits the whole plot out here.
Yes.
Did you write it all down?
Yeah, so he had been looking for Cameron for years, and he's like, is there any reason that, like, he's like, who are your parents? I don't know. Tell me something from your childhood. I don't know. So he has no childhood memories of family. And then he explains that he has been monitored his whole life. They've had access to him whenever they've needed.
This is Consec.
And he drops the bombshell that the doctor is his father and Ironside is his brother.
Of course.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Ironside and Cameron were the original scanners, which Dr. Ruth, I didn't realise his name was Dr. Ruth until the end. It was like Dr. Ruth. The scanner doctor, Dr. Ruth, but he was like a bad guy.
Yeah, but not. Like, he was just a guy that was really into science without realising that he was.
But he was a bad
evil.
guy in the fact that, like, he just they were the first two scanners. And he originally tried to, like, the ephemeral was like an ADD drug or something.
Yeah, so it was intended for babies or children or something.
But it made them into scanners.
But it turned them into scanners.
Yeah.
And then, because it was a failed campaign, but Consec then finance continued
and
research.
weaponized it, yeah.
Yes.
And then had they had two departments doing the same thing within the same company, and for some reason that's evil?
Yes. Yes. Ironside sort of lets loose that he wants to train soldier scanner babies.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what you want.
They should have done that in Scanners too. Revenge of the Scanner Babies. The scannering.
The scannering. Scanners 2, the scannering. Cam obviously says no, and Ironside gets cranky.
Yeah, so he's just like, because he wanted Cam to join him because they're brothers, want to, keep the business in the family. And he's like, come on, no, I don't want to fucking join your thing. He's like, fuck, now I have to kill you.
Oh.
Anyhow.
But we're brothers.
Cameron, I think he starts to scan a Cameron, like Ironside does, because Ironside's going to try and head explode him.
Yeah.
But Cameron fucking hits him with a sculpture.
Yes.
Like clocks him in the head, which knocks him over. And then they start, and which knocks him kind of out of his scanner trance. And then they both start to have a scanner battle. Like, looking at each other intently from across the room. And I love this scanner battle. Like, there's a lot of effort put into this.
We get a lot of good body horror. Right.
So, yeah, this is two scanners trying to make each other explode, but, like, they're kind of negating their own scanner things. So they're like, all these, you see these, he's done this a bit in his films, Cronenberg, like, an effect where veins start popping up, like a practical effect that, you've obviously got false skin and little veins under there that they can fill up with. And it's kind of like, it actually looks really good. It looks
does.
like
and
giant...
then it starts like little bits of blood, just like little pinhole pricks of blood just spurting out.
Yeah, so they're starting to like vein up and like fucking Ironside's got the veins in his head. They're starting to bleed out of his face, his arms. I'm like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah, and we feel that Ironside has kind of got the drop on Cam because like Cameron,
he's losing.
He's starting to like literally rip his face off.
Yeah, the veins are so full on in his face.
He's
that they're
just pulling them
off.
out.
And then like Ironside hits him with a fucking scanner bullet into his heart or some shit. He like rips a chunk out of his heart or something like that. So fucking Cameron's like, he's not dealing with it.
He's not. But then Cameron decides that, you know what? No, I'm going to fight back.
No, he doesn't.
What do you mean?
He actually like gives up, and then he like stands up and he does like a fucking, like bleeding. He holds he's got his arms all mashed.
Yeah.
He holds his hands out and they start catching on fire. He uses Kim's power to set him to combust and sets himself on fire.
Yes.
Which is genius. So he's damaging his body as much as he can. And then his eyes fucking explode.
Which was great.
Yeah, for
that
no
looked
reason.
Amazing.
So Cam sets himself on fire, explodes his own eyes, and then he looks, he sets his goal onto Ironside, and he pushes all of his psychic powers at Ironside, which makes Ironside's pupils disappear and go into an Evil Dead Kandarian demon. Like,
yeah. He's like, brrr.
So we're getting the idea that he's like, I kind of got the idea of what he was doing here. Did you? Like, without even the big reveal at the end. He's basically damaging his body as much as he can and pushing his consciousness into Ironside.
Well, because I think the concept is you are only as strong as the body that you're in. Like, the mind might be strong, but the body is not.
Anyhow, cut to black after my Ironside's like, and then boom, black, and we're slow fade up to Kim waking up on the couch in the next room. Mm-hmm. She slept through it all.
She did.
She gets up. She's like, "What the fuck happened? What did I drink? Where am I? Whose house is this?"
She walks in to the room and she sees a charred body on the floor. So it is obviously the body of Cameron.
Unrecognizable charred body. But she kind of touches it and gets scanner vibes like, "Cameron." And then we see a noise from the corner.
It's like, I'm over here.
We see a man huddled in the corner with a jacket over him. Mm-hmm. And then she walks up to him and the jacket falls down to reveal that it's Ironside, except he has Cameron's voice and he's like, "It's me, Kim. Cameron."
And it's got his eyes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? Like his colour eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Because he has very distinctive eyes, this actor.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He goes, "It's me. It's me, Kim Cameron. I'm here with one." Fade to white.
Oh, I love a fade to white.
To credit. The end. That's it.
Yeah.
Just like, so he basically swapped his like mind with Ironside. But I'm like, but now you're in the body of the most wanted criminal in the world.
It's true. And also you have to remember that like if there is some kind of romantic entanglement between him and Kim.
Yeah, she has to get with Ironside.
She might not be attracted to Ironside's
Ironside wasn't as
sexy
fit
body.
as Cameron.
No.
He had the Strokes look going. The thin bean.
I mean, I'd definitely go an Ironside over a Cameron.
Yeah, you're right.
But,
Anyhow, that was the end.
Yes.
And I was like, damn. That's not how I remember that film at
No.
all, like, from a kid. I gotta say, total disclosure, I haven't seen this. I think the first time I watched this it was fucking. It would have been before 2000.
I haven't seen this film in at least a few years, so
A few. I haven't seen it in at least 20.
And a few
22.
could be anywhere between like 10 to 12. I don't know.
My final thoughts. What are your final thoughts?
Okay, so I really enjoyed this film. However, I did find myself questioning.
There's a lot of
some
loose
things.
ends, isn't there?
So for these powerful telepathic beings, they couldn't sense each other or sense any kind of impending danger around them.
Yeah.
I would have thought that if they are some kind of powerful.
How did the doctor even find the scanners if you can't sense them and they're not scanners? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's probably created these people over the years so he's probably kept track of them.
Oh yeah, they were creating them. Yeah.
And then
that's
of course,
why, because he says that. Einstein says that's why us two are the oldest scanners.
Yeah.
Because
and
we're
then
the
of course,
originals.
obviously, there's a couple
and we're the most
of
powerful.
Yeah, there's a couple of places within this radius that are doctors' offices dealing with pregnant women, so they're obviously the ones that are controlling these scanner babies. But this was fun. I completely forgot that this head exploding scene happened within the first 12 minutes of the film, and the rest of the film is some kind of telepathic, espionage film.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, I always like Cronenberg films. They're always so shot cleanly. All the footage is you look at it and it's such high definition that you're like, how is this a 1980s film?
Yeah.
And then you look, and you're like, yeah, right, that's crazy. He's always so clean in his stuff. He always has really interesting scenes.
Yep.
Even though he was just you could tell that every scene was just what cool ability could they have now? I don't want to use the old one. You've already used it, head exploding. What's the next one? Oh, this one, they can catch people on fire. This one, he can break into computers. And so he's always got really interesting scenes. The body horror thing, which he created, is really... And he always had really weird music in his films. Weird industrial synthwave soundscapes, which I really like, that kind of stuff.
Same.
It'd be a great album. You got it?
I don't have it, but I definitely am going to try and track it down now.
It's a good take on the old ESP craze, the telepathy.
Yeah.
Just a bit different, kind of thing. They still did a bit of moving objects with your mind, but they was more just throwing people around. I thought it had a good twist at the end that they were brothers. I was like, yeah, and it made sense.
I feel that I kind of...
he had been lied to his whole life, and the doctor was a kind of a bad guy. He didn't mention any of this shit.
No, exactly.
And
I feel that because I was already complaining about how much Star Wars this was, I was like, they're going to be brothers or something. He's like, I am your father. And I'm like, oh.
No, he's your father.
Damn.
But yeah, some of this didn't make sense. The art exhibition, stuff like that. How did they escape contact? They just ran out the front door. just
walked out.
Someone had bought their car there for them. The fight at the end is brutal. I think it's wicked.
It is wicked.
The veins.
I feel that they could have gone...
A little bit more?
More.
Maybe had some breaking limbs or pulling arms off or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I should have pulled each other's dicks off.
I mean, that's all you want, really.
But Cronenberg has that really his idea of horror is really unique. It's a thing that is just a thing. But I don't think not many people were doing this kind of body horror. It is all body horror. His whole thing is body horror. You think of The Fly, you think of everything. Except for Society, which beat him in that.
Oh, that beat him in that. So what did you give it?
I gave it a C.
Same.
It's a classic worth a watch, and it really is that. It's almost the epitome of our C rating. It's a classic worth a watch. It's not the best film you've ever seen, but it's still wicked, and you just have to watch it for all those scanning faces.
Yeah, and this is a film that while I really enjoyed watching it for this episode, I probably won't watch it again for another couple of years. It won't be something that's in my heavy rewatch rotation.
What are we going to watch next week?
I'm going to... You're going to hate it. I'm going with a 1980s classic film called Alligator. Alligator. Yes, it's going to be great.
Is it about a person that makes allegations at people all the time?
It is, yes. It's about a giant alligator.
Or a crocodile.
It's an alligator.
They have a long snout, don't they? Are they saltwater? I can never remember
No, me
between
neither.
alligators and crocodiles.
And there's like a little rhyme that you remember, but I can
Is
never
there?
remember the rhyme. I don't know. So, yeah, we're going to watch Alligator from 1980. Actually, this is high on my need to watch list, and I believe Audio Blood, another podcast you should check out, he did recommend that we check this out like a year or two ago. So I apologize that it's taken me this long to do it.
Audio Blood. We love Audio Blood. It's such a good podcast. Check it out.
Heck yeah.
Is this my bit?
I can do it.
Go.
I can do it. So thanks, guys. Before we sign off, we just want to take a moment to thank our listeners who have interacted with us over the past fortnight and in any other way that you can. People like Patrick Roberts, Adam Gillespie, Nada Chance 44, Living in the Past Pod. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everything you guys do. Even if it's just a small comment or a like, we love you. But thank you. You've been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer. We are available on all major podcasting services and also on the YouTubes. But no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment and a review, and make sure you share with all your friends. You can interact with us on both Facebook and Instagram at TerrorVision Pod. It'll keep you up to date with upcoming episodes, trivia, and of course memes that are 100% 3 years old by now. We also have a website, which I'm still so busy that I just don't have time to be creative
To do anything with?
But
I knew that would happen.
No, I'm setting the goal. It's gonna happen.
Excellent, excellent. And until next time, may all your dreams be nightmares.